Alright guys, first things first, we're going to remove our tire over here. This is the passenger side front tire. Now, but first you got to do is, safety is important. You got to jack the vehicle up, and then, this is the good part. I said the good part. You got to have you a nice jack stand up here and leave your hydraulic jack there in place. Now you notice I'm on a nice asphalt base, so I don't have to use nothing. But if you're on dirt, you want to make sure you use a nice solid plywood, not particle board, not that stuff that's glued together. You want to use plywood. All right, now we're gonna come over here. The first thing we're gonna do, just like I said, is take off the tire. The tire is held on by 5 19mm or 3/4 lug nuts. Use a 19mm. It fits up there a lot better. So I got a 19mm deep, 1/2 inch drive, and my earthquake. And we're going to take those lugs right off. Alright, let's get them off and we'll be right back. Alright guys, the first thing we do is get this shield out of the way. We're not going to remove the whole thing, we're just going to bend it out of the way. Now first, I'll put the mirror right here. If you look inside the mirror, you see a Phillips head. That's a plastic clip right there. So what you're going to do is take your Phillips screw, and that center part comes out. Let's see if I can, there's mirrors in the way. But what you're going to do is actually just unscrew the center. Now, if you can get your finger in there, you can probably pull that center. Pull the center of that down. Dang it. Now, so you get your screwdriver. Don't put a lot of pressure on it, because you'll push that right back in there. So I'm using one hand to pull down on the screw. There it is. Let me put this back in there. Okay, here's the little plastic screw. And putting those back in there, that's all you have to do is just push it in there. Okay? Now that rest of that clip in there, that will come right out. So you can just pop this down and pull that out just like that. And here's the other end. Alright, the next clip we have, move this around, is right here. A Christmas tree. Looks like somebody messed that up already. You could take a pair of wire cutters. I'm going to take a pair of this right here. Just go in there. Just slowly pull that out just like that. You're going to get enough room. Just pull that down. You don't have to. This thing goes all the way to the other side of the car, halfway. You don't have to remove that. That's all you have to do is just push it down and just lean it over to the side. Maybe tie it up or something. There you go. Now your oil filter housing gasket, or they call it a oil adapter, is this piece right here. Now you can see all this oil down here. So what we're gonna have to do is get us a pan and put it up under there. All right. Get this, put it out the way, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, the oil filter housing is held on by 3 12mm bolts. You got 1, 2, and number 3. So I'm going to use a 12mm shallow socket 3/8 drive with a 6-inch 3/8 drive extension and my 3/8 drive ratchet. Now this extension that I have is not like a regular extension. It's a wobble extension, which means I can put this socket on it and the socket will wobble a little bit. I mean, you can probably use it straight, but I like to do it just to give it a little, just in case I go into a tight spot. So we're going to have 1, 2, now when you get this out, these bolts out, which you're going to take out together, there's still 2 sensors going to the top wires. So don't just yank this thing when you get it out. And number 3. Alright, so let's get those bolts out and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got all the bolts out, but I didn't take them out completely. So you want to take them out. Now number 1 is that length. Number 2 is longer. And number 3 down here. Let's see if we can get this one out. Oops. Number 3. Notice the different color in number 3. Why? I don't know. Something to do down there. but we want to make sure number 3 is back down there. Let's put our bolts to the side. Now your housing is not going to just, oh, okay, I guess it did come off just easy. Sometimes you got to pull it a little bit. But look at all that oil come out of there. Again, don't let this thing drop. Just want to bring it down, turn it over, because it's still connected by wires. Here's your gasket right there on the top. So we're going to pop that gasket off from it. Then we're going to just lean this over to the side, and we're going to get us a rag and get some carburetor cleaner and spray all that up. There's not much to clean up on this at all, but we definitely want to spray this and clean it up. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, you want to get you some brake cleaner, carburetor cleaner, and you want to just spray that off, clean it up. Get you a rag and wipe all that off. It's not a gasket. Well, not a gasket per se. It's probably something breaks apart and you got to do some scraping. So you don't have to worry about that. Just spray it up and clean it. And definitely you don't want to use no kind of big scraper, because if you cut into that aluminum, the new gasket is not going to work, and it's going to start leaking. And it won't be from the gasket. It'll just be from that gouge you just put into it. All right, so we get that done. This over to the side. Can I bring it? Yeah, if you bring it, you can see it more right there. And we got to make sure all that's cleaned off right there to set our new gasket on it. Dang it. Alright, let's get all this cleaned up and we'll be right back. Alright guys, here's our new gasket. This is a Victor range. You'll definitely get you a good name brand. Don't get no cheap name brand. Pulling this. Don't even use my video if you use a cheap name brand. Here's the part number. Write that part number down, put it in the search, get you a gasket. I don't care where you get it from. Just get it. Alright, now guys, check this out. Look at this gasket from the side view. And what happens with these is 2 things. One, they flatten out compared to, see how rounded and thicker the new one is, Siri?
Yes.
And these dry rot. That's rubber. And they tend to break. So, very common thing with these guys. Now, let's get our new one. And we're going to set it in. You can't mess up. It's only can set in one way. And also, what I like about this, now I'm not sure of the cheaper brands, but this one, if you look at, they got little tips sticking out right there, up there, you know, in certain places of the gasket. See those, Sivy? Those will help that gasket stay into place. So you want to put the gasket up in place and just take your finger and just go around and push it down. Make sure that that whole gasket is into place, into those grooves. Okay. Now, if you manhandle this, it is possible that gasket can still come right back out. So you want to just slowly turn it around, bring it up till it touches right up against the block. Take your gloves, I mean your bolts now. Number 1 is that shiny short one. Put it in there, turn it by about 2 or 3 threads. That's to make sure that it's not cross-threaded. Number 2 is the long one. That's going to go up here. Put that in. Turn it by 2 or 3 threads to make sure that don't cross-thread. And then the last one, the black bolt. Put that one in. That one you're going to have to use your socket and extension to turn that. Now that one, you start bringing it in by hand until it just barely stops. While at the same time, remember, you keep in your hand, keeping this adapter up against the block to make sure that gasket don't come out of there. Then you do this one, just till it slides hand tight, and then the third one. So let's get that one done, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we do is take your socket and ratchet and extension oil, and you want to start from the top one, and you want to just go till it just barely stops. You want to make sure this whole thing goes on evenly. Just till it stops. And now for this one, you want to go till it stops, and then a little bit more. That's it. Do not strip this out. Remember, it's going into aluminum, so you don't want to strip it out. So let's go up here to the top one. You want to go till it stops, a little bit more. That's it. All right, let's get the last one done. We'll be right back. All right, guys. Next thing you do, get you some carburetor cleaner and clean all that up. I just ran out. Then take your rag, clean up all where the old oil was. Definitely, if you got some carburetor cleaner, use that. All right, take your shield, bring your shield back up in place. If it lets you. Okay. Where my clips, Civi?
Oh, I don't know.
Don't run over my foot, my hands, Sylvia. Keep playing around. All right, next thing you want to do, guys, get your Christmas tree clip. Look for the lines, the holes to line up. Where the heck is it? There it is.
If you can't find it, can you leave it?
Heck yeah, just leave it alone. Okay. What the heck? There it is. Get that stuck in here like that. Then, wait a minute, this is supposed to be a bundle. That's what I'm kidding. Dang it. Okay, there we go. There. Now this one, you got that hole down there. Okay, let's see here. You can see up there, Sippy?
I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be looking.
See that hole?
Yeah.
Alright, so what you got to do is take your first clip, the one with the hole in it, and you got to push that into there. Dang it. Yeah, I'll be there in a minute. Okay.
They know where it goes.
Yeah, there you go.
They don't know by now.
Alright, got that in there. And now you just take that plastic screw and you just push it right in between, right in there. Just like that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, boy. Alright, we'll be right back, guys. Alright, guys, the last thing we're going to do is put your tire back on, put your lugs on. Now, when you put your lugs on, you just want to put your lugs on, turn them on by a couple threads, so that way you make sure it's not cross-threaded, and then you're going to tighten them up. Now, to tighten them up, you do not tighten them up in a circular pattern, counterclockwise or clockwise. You want to count off one, skip one, go there, skip one, go there, and that way the tire goes on evenly. Because if that tire don't go on evenly because of rust or corrosion, whatever behind the wheel or something, then when you're going down the road, the car's going to shake and you're going to think something is wrong. So again, bring this one in. Now, I got that one just to set the wheel straight. Then I'm going to go over here, tighten, skip this one, skip this one, skip this one. Of course, skip this one. We already did it. Skip this one. And it is done. Great job, guys. Get your thing down. Check your oil, because this thing is leaking a lot like it was. There ain't probably going to be no oil in here. So check your oil. All right?